Alright, I'm just going to show you around quickly because there's quite a few people showing up here. I was going to take this off its cradle so you can have a little look. Alright. So there's a pancake breakfast going on here. You can see people are getting in their pancake breakfast. There's coffee for people right now. The clock in the corner, when we start, I'll remove that clock from the screen. And throughout the video, the ticker will also change. But yeah, people are showing up. I'm just going to take you for a little walk. We don't have a gimbal on, so we might be a little bouncy. So just bear with me. All right, here we go. Your first glance of the ship. This is what you're all here for, right? Oh my God, I can't read the chats right now because I just left my glasses on the table. But let's have a quick look at the vessel. Try and keep it steady because I don't have it in a gimbal. So there you are. This is the Radcliffe R Latimer. Just about hear that engine humming. It was a nice sound actually when I pulled up. I do like the sound of the engine just idling. Sault Ste. Marie. I was just talking to my wife last night about that. I'm actually going to plan. I have time off end of July, and if the fuel prices come down, I'm going to go up to Sault Ste. Marie end of July and get some, spend a few days doing some videoing up there. So, facing east, sun is just coming up over there. Directly down that way, as the crow flies, 30 miles, Buffalo, city of Buffalo, New York. Straight down that way is the entrance to to Lake Erie. If you turn that way to the right, you'll head towards Detroit. If you turn that way left, you'll head to Buffalo. We just joined us. Welcome to the ceremony here in Port Colborne. Morning, Thomas. Sorry, good morning, Sharky. Yeah, Thomas, he does, but it's going to go very quiet shortly and a lot of talking. The rain is absolutely pouring out there. We'll have a quick look. Oh, wonderful! At 10 o'clock, I'll be able to go down. We'll get a video of that, hopefully. Quite a few people here this morning, braving the weather. Good turnout. There's the captain. Here we are, folks. We have the captain ready. Looks like a proper captain, doesn't he? Does anyone know if Tim's watching this morning? Is he busy? Oh, here comes a bell. We have a bell here as well. Members of the armed forces. Veterans, I should say.
around if you ring it. Especially on a Sunday. Yeah, you know how to do it back.
Hey? Let's say Algoma? Trying to HMCS Ungava 1964, I believe that bell says. That's a nice shot of the bell if everyone moves. It does say HMCS. I believe that says Uncava or Ungava 1964. Oh, salty time. That's what I like seeing is the salties. We have another week or so before we start seeing them down here. High five. All right, moments away. Barry, all the way from Barry. Good morning. It'll be interesting to see how the shipping season might play out this season. Especially a lot of the salties coming over with the what's going on in the Middle East and Iran, Israel, the United States. And I'm not talking about like security reasons. I'm talking in the sense of like the fuel shortages, which are a possibility in the coming weeks if things aren't sorted out. History shows back in the 1980s during the Iran-Iraq war, this, I don't know if it happened here, but I know in most parts of Europe there was a fuel crisis due to that blockage. And it's like history is repeating itself. So I hope that gets sorted out soon for all various reasons, especially humanity reasons. A minesweeper. That'd be a good thing to send out over to the Middle East right now. Get those oil ships moving. Get the fertilizer, get everything moving over there. I think if my glasses are working. Good morning, Marlene, all the way in Michigan. Good to have you here on the Lake Erie channel, Lake Erie vlogger for the opening ceremony of the Welland Canal. Just a few moments away. I believe it starts right on 9 o'clock. Someone whispered in my ear. And they ran out of coffee like half an hour ago. It makes it even worse. I do have a drink, but it's in my car, which is too far to run back to. Thanks, Tori. Appreciate it. Good coverage. Thank you. When they start doing the ceremony, I'll leave the microphone open. I'll keep quiet. You can listen in. It looks like the rain has stopped. The wind has actually changed direction. It's kind of complete different 180. A few minutes ago, that wind was blowing strong from the east, and now it's swung back round to what looks like the southwest. Looking at that flag, and the flags behind the podium here have actually gone still. 10 minutes ago, it was blowing quite strong. The guy, oh, you can't see him, just to your left of your screen, is pretty darkened out, just shaking hands with someone. He's got his glasses on his head. I believe that is the mayor of Port Colborne.
I don't know why it's not.
What are you trying to get?
Well, it was thinking there last night. You got any stickers? Yeah, it keeps popping on last night.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know why.
So now that we know I do have good coverage, a stable connection on my business plan here on my phone, and that helps having the business plan because it gives you stable upload speeds. Hopefully in the next few days we'll do a live stream of one of the vessels coming into the lock and leaving the lock. We'll do a full live presentation. And just put the camera up there on the top, and we'll get a good view of the vessel coming through, and maybe that's something we could do next few days, hopefully. And of course I'll make my normal videos in Port Colborne and all along the Welland Canal and so on, which will be uploaded as if and when I make them. I believe so. I'm not too sure it's Navy or veterans. I think it could be veterans.
Ryan, how are you?
Oh, you're welcome, Julian. Glad you're enjoying the coverage. The rain is pouring again outside, absolutely pouring. I'll just take it out of the cradle and show you quickly. Umbrellas in the background out there. It is absolutely pouring it down. If you just joined us, we actually had some thunder and lightning not so long ago. About 20 minutes ago, we had a couple of booms of thunder. This is one of my first ones.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. No, but I've done a few before, but this is the first proper major event I've done. Yeah. Usually I'm just out on the fly doing stuff.
Yeah. I saw the drone train.
Yeah, you seen them?
Yeah.
Party poopers.
But it's got Canada signal on it. So.
That's what I've done a few forums to try and debate that. Like, what trumps the Canada sign or NAV Canada? Because NAV Canada is regulated by the same government.
I
So
would think as long as you stay on this side of the fence.
that's my theory. Is follow the rules and just don't cross their line because you're on public space here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you could follow the speed.
Just don't go in the
That's
canal
what I
anymore. It's something I looked at.
Put an 8-second live time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not. Oh, that's a good feed.
So he's already back at his camera. I've been counting every time someone moves.
So it's about 8 seconds.
Yeah, quote an 8-second lag.
All right. Wally's got the live stream on next to me, and just to give you an idea of the delay. You're going to be impressed with this. It's not a minute. It's not 30 seconds. It's actually approximately 8-second delay from what you see, like that wave. That was 8 seconds ago. Oh my God, that's clear. So that's pretty good for a live stream being processed, sent up to the sky and back down and so on, into your living rooms, to your bedrooms, to your office, wherever you're watching this. 8 seconds, not bad. Technology, eh? Crazy weather, you're in Thorold, it's dark. Cheers, Sharky. Yeah, live streaming, YouTube live streams come a long way for sure. I used to do radio shows online, internet radio, and there was a guy, nearly a minute delay time you heard it. And even some live streams I've done before on YouTube are like 20, 30 seconds. So 7 to 8 seconds is phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, doesn't look too sturdy.
Oh, I know. It's his fault.
No, you never blame it on the music guy.
Is buffalo still out there in the bay? It was there this morning.
Down there.
It was in the bay. I was on marine traffic earlier. It was out there. So what's going to happen here in a few minutes is the mayor of Port Colborne, Bill Steele, will present the top hat to Michael Rodaway as the captain of the first vessel to come through the lock here of the Welland Canal. Oh, we're getting close to the starting. So the top hat is a tradition, and the top hat you'll be seeing shortly is a turn of the century beaver felt fur hat by Tress & Co. in London, UK. It was anonymously donated to the Port Colborne Historical and Marine Museum and has been used in this ceremony since 1999. The museum hat is used for the official presentation and photos. Then it is safely returned to its acid-free storage box. It's an acid-free. The box I saw looked like it was just a mover's box. So, well, that's the man who made that weird noise, not me. I think he just made a noise in the mic. So anyway, yeah, you'll see the official hat, and then there's a keepsake hat, which is embroidered with a special message and the date. And it's also with a silk tuxedo scarf, and that'll be presented to the captain today. So, anyway, it looks like we're getting ready. Yeah, when I lost the feed, I actually watched that video back, and it was literally like someone said, I must have bounced from one tower to another tower when I went down towards the Clarence Street Bridge, because it held up good at the wharf there where the buffalo was, and it was after I moved away from the buffalo and literally moved 100 meters, then that's when I first saw that lower quality signal. So what I'm going to do at some point, I'm going to have to try and do a live stream right in Port Colborne and see if it connects to a tower and it doesn't struggle. But this is a great location here. Oh, yeah. Looks like the sun's trying to come out. It's getting bright behind me. All right, here we go, folks.
Good morning, everybody. How's Port Colborne today? And this, as I always say, rain, snow, it's always sunny in Port Colborne. In St. Catharines, they'll be doing this Tuesday. If it's raining, sunny, they always do it inside. We're tougher down in the south end, I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, let's go.
So on behalf of City Council, we welcome everyone here today. And I'm pleased that we're going to be opening the 2026 Top Hat Ceremony. And it's great to see so many familiar faces as we come together to mark the start of our navigation season on the Welland Canal. The Top Hat Ceremony is one of our city's longest standing maritime traditions, started by Mayor John Buscarino in the early 1970s. Each year we gather to welcome the first vessel of the season and to recognize the vital role shipping plays within our community. The Welland Canal has shaped Port Colborne into the community it is today, and it continues to support our local economy, connect us to global trade routes, and reinforce our identity as a proud waterfront community. Today is an opportunity to reflect on that impact while celebrating the partnerships that make each shipping season possible. At this time, we will begin with an Indigenous opening offered by Brian Kahn. Brian's our Indigenous Relations Advisor at the Region of Niagara. Brian, welcome.
Fancy, Maricopa. Welcome, guests. We've made space for you here today. We start with a Thanksgiving. We're grateful to the Creator for the many gifts that He has given us. And the greatest gift that He has given us is the gift of Mother Earth. Because through her, we have everything that we need in order to survive on our journey across the back of the Great Turtle. So we're grateful to her. We're grateful for the many creatures and the roots and plants that are just starting to come up from under the ground after the long winter's sleep. And we're reminded that rest time is not only for Mother Earth, it's for us as well. She's reminding us that we need to take time and rest and regenerate for ourselves. We're grateful for the many plants and medicines that are out there. The plants help feed us, the medicines help heal us. We're grateful for the two-legged, the four-legged, the swimmers, the crawlers, the flyers, because they provide us with our food, our medicine, our tools, our clothes. And we're reminded that just as the birds wake up every morning and sing to the Creator as the sun comes up over the horizon, that's the way we should start our day. Start our day in gratitude for the gifts that we have and for the day we're about to have. We're grateful for the water. Okay, it's coming down a little bit harder than we were hoping. We're grateful for the water. The water does refresh us. The water is part of our travel system as we're here today to honor the first ship going through the canal. So we're grateful for the water. It makes up our body. And we actually spend the first 9 months of our lives in water. So we have a special relationship with the water. And we're grateful for it. We're grateful for Grandmother Moon, that through her and her relationship with the women of our community, they bring together new generations, and we're grateful for those generations that come forward and that will carry on after us. We're grateful for the four winds that blow that bring the change of seasons, and we're grateful for the Tree Nation that stands tall. The Tree Nation provides us with the fires to keep us warm. In the wintertime, it provides us with light and energy. And in my community, in the wintertime is when the stories are told. The elders gather together with the young ones, and they tell them of their history, their heritage, their ways of life, and how to survive on the land. And so the winter and the fire is a special time for us as we come together and gather around. We're grateful for the fire that comes from the Tree Nation. We're grateful for Brother Sun. He's not showing himself today, but he's there. And he provides us with light and energy, not only to us, but also to those plants and animals. We're grateful to Brother Sun. And finally, I look to the night sky, and I see the stars that are there, and I'm told the stars are our ancestors. And that those ancestors are up there, they're watching us, they're guiding us, and they're leading us along their path across the back of the Great Plateau. So with that, I say hi hi. Thank you. Merci. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Brian, for that meaningful opening. I will now read our land acknowledgement. Niagara region is situated on treaty land. The land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nation, such as the Hattaway-Wendourong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Port Colborne stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the land on which we live. At this time, I'd like to call on Genevieve Renee Bisson to lead us in the singing of Old Canada.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Another great job, Renee. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to welcome Pastor Brian Lofthouse, who served many years as pastor of the Port Colborne Brethren in Christ Church. Pastor Lofthouse also dedicated 20 years of service as chaplain with Port Colborne Fire and Emergency Services and spent many years coaching local soccer, a reflection of his lifelong commitment to our community. Please join me in welcoming Pastor Lofthouse, who will offer an opening prayer. Brian?
Thank you, Mayor. It is great to be here. I am thankful for this community and being a part of it, and I'm thankful that I am retired because all the other vicars and priests and pastors, they're getting ready for church right now. And I'm not. This is awesome. So let me just open with just a short invocational prayer. Father, you have blessed us in so many ways, and Brian shared this a moment ago of all the blessings that we've enjoyed. We just simply invoke your presence to be a part of this moment and bless our comings and goings and the activities of the day. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Brian. Before we continue, I'd like just to take a moment to recognize our dignitaries in the room. We have MP Fred Davies. We have Bob Saraceno from MPP Jeff Birch's office. Acting Regional Chair Rob Foster, Mayor Brian Grant of the Township of Wainfleet, Jane Nye for the Port Colborne Fair Trade Committee, and Jeff Welland Canal Services Manager for the St. Lawrence Seaway Management Corporation, Captain Donald Kemp of the Radcliffe R. Latimer, and Tammy Nail, Assistant Museum Curator at the Port Colborne Historical and Marine Museum. We thank everybody for being here today. And a big thank you to our city staff at Public Works, Events Communications, and the Mayor's Office, who were here bright and early preparing for today's ceremony. I trust everyone enjoyed a great breakfast, generously provided by the Port Colborne Fair Trade Committee. Let's give them a big hand. And we thank them for helping us start a morning the right way with fair trade products. Also, thank you to the Port Colborne Public Library team who have created such a souvenir button. They are available. Look for our library staff out in the tent here and all around. I saw a wave at the back there. They are at the back. So if you need a button, please grab one of these. as each button comes on a card outlining the history of our top hat ceremony, along with the reading suggestions for those curious to learn about the Welland Canal's history. Our top hat ceremony celebrates the start of the shipping season and recognizes our city's deep-rooted connection to the marine industry. From its earliest days, the Welland Canal has stood as a symbol of hard work and perseverance, helping drive growth in business, development, and quality of life right here in the city of Port Colborne. Over the years, we have built strong relationships within the marine industry, many of whom are here today, and continue to create opportunities for trade, tourism, and economic development. Each year, Port Colborne welcomes cargo vessels from around the world, as well as cruise ships that bring visitors to experience our waterfront, shop local businesses, and experience our beautiful waterfront community. So now, as we look ahead to the 2026 shipping season, we are reminded of how integral the canal is to the city of Port Colborne, not only as a working waterway, but as a defining part of our identity. This year, we are introducing a new element to our ceremony, the generational bell ringing. This tribute offers a moment for reflection and commemoration. It honors those who built the canal, recognizes those who have kept it operating safely and efficiently, and acknowledges the integral role the Welland Canal plays within our community. I now ask Jeff Seaburn, First Vice President of the Royal Canadian Naval Association, who has brought the ship's bell to today's ceremony. Please come forward to perform the generational bell ringing. We will ring the bell 3 times, once for the past, once for the present, and once for the future. With each ring, we reflect on the contributions of those who came before us and look ahead to many more safe and successful shipping seasons. Thank you, Mr. Seaburn, for leading us in a meaningful tribute. At this time, I'd like to welcome our guest speakers to the podium. First, if I could call on our MP, Brett Davies.
Good morning, Port Colborne. How's everybody today? It's drier in here. Standing here today, we're not just at the southern gateway of the canal. We are the beating heart of a system that helped build a nation. As a son of Port Colborne, a father to children raised here, and a grandfather of the next generation growing up in this community, I'm proud to stand before you to honor something that runs deep in our local DNA. Everyone here understands what this waterway means, not just for our economy, but our identity and our shared history. The St. Lawrence Seaway is more than a corridor of water. It's a corridor of opportunity. It connects the industrial heartland of North America to the world, linking the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean, and carrying with it the products, the resources, and the ambitions of millions of Canadians. Its economic importance cannot be overstated. Every year, millions of tons of cargo, grain from the prairies, steel from Hamilton, aggregates, fertilizers, and energy products move through this system. It supports thousands of jobs across the shipping, logistics, manufacturing, and agriculture. For businesses across Ontario and beyond, the Seaway is not just a convenience, it is a competitive advantage. It lowers costs, opens markets, and keeps Canadian industry moving. But here in Port Colborne, this is not abstract. It's very personal to us. We hear the ship's horns, we watch the Lakers rise and fall in Lock 8, and yes, we've all waited for a bridge from time to time, but we also know that in that moment, it's part of what binds us together as a community. This waterway sustains local families, supports small businesses, and defines who we are. Generations have built their lives around it, contributing to a legacy that continues to flow through our city every day. Nationally, the Seaway stands as a symbol of Canadian ambition and cooperation. Since its opening in 1959, it has shown what is possible when we think big and act with purpose. Today, as global supply chains face face pressure and uncertainty, the Seaway offers something increasingly valuable: resilience and structure in a secure, efficient, environmentally responsible transportation route. But we must also be clear about the challenges we face. Canada remains deeply dependent on the United States for trade. When that relationship is strong, it benefits us greatly. But when it is disrupted by shifting policies, protectionism, or border delays, it exposes a real vulnerability. For a country like ours, that risk is not theoretical. It is fundamental. And that's why the St. Lawrence Seaway matters now more than ever. It gives Canada options. It provides direct access to global markets beyond a single trading partner. It allows our producers to reach customers in Europe and beyond with greater independence. In times of uncertainty, it's not just a trade route, it is a safeguard. For Port Colborne, that means continued opportunity. For Canada, it means something even greater: economic sovereignty. The ability to stand on our own, to diversify our trade, and to ensure our prosperity is not tied too tightly to forces beyond our control. And perhaps most importantly, reminds us of who we are. Canada is and always has been a trading nation. Our strength lies in our ability to connect, to move goods, and to reach the world. The St. Lawrence Seaway ensures that we have inland communities like ours, not just on the margins, but at the center of that global story. So from the perspective of Port Colborne, the Seaway is not just infrastructure. It is our history. It is our livelihood, and it is our future. And as we look ahead, may we continue to invest in, protect it, and take pride in the role it plays, not just here at home, but in shaping a strong, resilient, and sovereign Canada. Thank you.
Hello to everyone who's just joined us, Florida, Chicago, and also the island of Port Colborne. Island of Port Colborne.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Davies, Reverend Sirs, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm delighted to be here this Sunday morning at the annual Top Hat ceremony on behalf of MVP Jeff Birch, who is in Toronto at the legislature as a young resume. I want to thank the city's Fair Trade Committee and its members for the hard work hosting once again a lovely pancake breakfast to mark the opening of the Welland Canal. It means so much to so many communities which stretch along the canal from Port Colborne to Port Welland. The tradition traces its roots to the first ship into the new Welland Canal on November 27, 1829. The Top Hat ceremony gives us an opportunity to recognize the importance of the Welland Canal and just how it means so much to us and to so many employees locally in different businesses in the marine-related businesses in America. So when we see those bridges up, it's important to remember that while there are slight inconvenience in us getting to point A to B, those vessels are carrying cargo that means business, investment, income, and employment. The marine industry supports 329,000 jobs and $59 billion in economic activity in Canada and the United States. I want to extend again my congratulations on the first downbound vessel, the Radcliffe R. Latimer, with Captain Donald Kemp in the crew. All the best for fishing season.
Why is it going downbound? Why is it actually going upbound?
Now, with your permission, ladies and gentlemen,
Legit question.
draw your minds back to the year 1972. That
The year I was born.
was elected mayor, and I, as alderman, Ward 2, is this ward. I want to thank those people today. I look back on those years. The elections were held every 2 years, normally in November. John and I thank John Buscarino for having the foresight to implement Top Hat law in 1976. I took over as mayor in 1976 and 7 for 18 plus years. In those days, the elections were every 2 years. And look at us up here today, some 50 some odd years later. The Top Hat was awarded by an anonymous donor, which I respect greatly. that donor today, unfortunately, is not present. I will respect his wishes. And also in those days, when the ship came in, Captain, we used to have to go aboard the ship on the ladder at 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was very scary in those days to get to go up to that. Carl Turton, who was the reporter with the Tribune in those days, was very kind, and we made it. And I remember some blistering slow days. That's a long time ago. Who would ever thought that I would be privileged enough to be here some 55 years later to represent MPP Jeff Birch at this monumental occasion. It's a delight and a joy for me to be here before you, and I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been my right.
Next is our acting regional chair, Rob Foster. Should I just say regional chair? Maybe we can do that?
It depends on the day. So Bill asked me to come up with a 20-minute speech. I hope you're all ready, as I'm just the acting regional chair. It's a real pleasure to be here this morning. Just to let you know, I have strong connections to Port Colborne. My wife, Sue Beatty, and her family were here for many, many years, and I stole her away. We're in Beansville now, but I always enjoy coming over here. This is a great, great city. You know, I look at these ships that are here maybe a little different than some of the rest of you. I grew up in Midwestern Ontario, and we had horse and buggies going along our streets up through there. My wife would always come up there and she'd say, "Wow, those are really cool." And I said, "No, they're a menace to the road." So we come down here to Port Colborne, and I take a look at these magnificent ships, and I said, "Oh, aren't they wonderful?" And she said, "No, the jackknife bridge goes up." So we'll just say that it's perspective that's going on. Anyway, I'm really pleased to be here this morning. The Welland Canal is such a critical part of Niagara region. We are transporting, as mentioned earlier, millions of tons of cargo through here. The economic effect is incredible. And I just want to say, I'm really glad that we're opening up for another season. I think finally, I just want to thank Bill Steele. He's been a good partner with me, and since there's nothing going on politically at the Niagara region right at the moment, we'll just see how things go. So anyway, thank you. Have a great day.
That's a dig at local politicians. Probably Bob Gale. Those in the region will know.
Rob's name came up at the best time to be the acting regional chair. Nothing's going on, hey Rob? Not a thing, not a thing. At this time, if I can call up the king of the feeder canal, Mayor Brian Grant from the Township of Wainfleet.
Good morning, everyone. So just to be clear, we had the first canal. That's what Bill here is referring to. So good morning. It is a pleasure to be here today for this time-honored top hat ceremony as we celebrate the first vessel to pass through the Welland Canal this season. This great waterway is not only a feat of engineering, but also an economic lifeline connecting our industries, our commerce, and our communities to the world. As we welcome a new shipping season, let's extend our gratitude to all those who work on and around the water, the mariners, the lock operators, and shipping professionals whose skill and dedication keep our region thriving. On behalf of Wainfleet's residents and members of council, may this season be not only prosperous, but safe for all those who navigate the waters. Wishing you all fair winds and calm passages ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next, I'd like to welcome Jane Nye from the Port Colborne Fair Trade Committee. Jane? Oh, there she is.
Good morning, friends. I hope you enjoyed your breakfast. And I'm sorry for those of you who came at the end. we ran out, but that is indicative of the good representation today. Thanks for coming. Fair trade is a vision of business and trade that puts people and profit, puts people and the planet before profit. It's a global movement to verify and certify that what farmers and workers are being paid is adequate for living a decent life. They have enough money for the everyday essentials like food, shelter, clothing, and a hopeful future, which we assume is a right for people in society, but for which many of us take it for granted. We often forget that everyone is not as privileged to live as we do, and we see that daily on the news these days. Perhaps this can be a reminder that we choose to be a fair trade city, and we do care, and we remain attentive to the needs of those who stitch our clothes, pluck our tea, grow our coffee. The coffee and the hot chocolate this morning are from small farmers around the world, also the sugar. The maple syrup and the pancakes are local, and we're grateful to ADM who provided the pancake mix, and to Agape Valley for the syrup. So I encourage you all to support fair trade in our town. When you can, we've been a fair trade city for now 17 years. Thanks for your support.
Thank you, Jane. So, staff, next year, twice as big a tent, twice as many pancakes. I think that was the message I got from Jane. That's okay. Next we have Jeff Boland, Canal Services Manager for the St. Lawrence Seaway Management Corporation. Jeff?
Good morning, everybody. As the mayor mentioned, I'm Jeff Boland. I'm the manager of Canal Services at the canal, and aside from maybe the captain here, I'm probably the happiest person in town because it's raining. I'd love nothing more than to see rain for the next 2 weeks. Why, you ask? Because we had such a cold, miserable winter, and 95% of Lake Erie was solid ice. What gets rid of ice? Warm weather and our friend the rain. So, as the captain goes out through the piers today, and those of you that walk down the next few weeks is going to make its way into the canal and cause challenges for us in the Seaway. Manageable challenges, though, because the government and the Seaway have made investments in resources. So that's the good news. Speaking of investments this past year, you've probably seen a lot of contractors and tradespeople, both at Lockgate and up at Bridge 21 of Clarence Street Bridge. The work at Clarence Street Bridge was very important because it extended the working life of that bridge. That bridge is quite old, as is the infrastructure through the canal. What was repaired there is what we call the bridge pockets, or basically the footings that the bridge itself sits on, that holds the structure in place. So very, very important to extending the life. And here at Lockgate, we've installed our award-winning technology that we call hands-free mooring. You've probably seen them. There's the giant vacuum pads or suction cups that attach to the vessel, hold the vessel in place, as opposed to using it locally. Once the hands-free units are up in place and operating in midsummer, we'll begin remote operations from our traffic center in Glendale. So lots of investment here in Port Colborne this year. I'll end with what I always like to throw out one fun fact about the Seaway when I'm speaking with people, and I'll end on that today. I want you to think about this. So the water level on Lake Ontario averages about what we call 74 meters above sea level. The water level this morning when I looked under Bridge 21, Clarence Street Bridge, is 174 meters above sea level. That's a rise or an elevation change of 100 meters. Now most of you are thinking 100 meters, that's the length of a football field. The problem with that comparison is the football field is horizontal. I'd like you to think of a skyscraper, a 30-story skyscraper going from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie. There's only a few buildings in the Niagara region that exceed 30 stories. The new condo down on West Street, I counted about 10 or 11 stories today when I walked by or drove by. You'd have to triple the size of that building your teams this year. And thank you, guys.
Thank you. And in my conversations that are always ongoing with the St. Lawrence Seaway Authority, Bridge 21 actually is just a little kid in all the bridges along the canal. The oldest bridges are in the north end, and based on my conversations with our friends from the St. Lawrence Seaway, they will be purpose. It has to be replaced. So someday, long after I'm done, I'm sure, this bridge will have to be replaced. You think about it. That bridge opened in 1935 when the new locks opened here in Port Colborne. That's a huge feat. It was a pretty big inconvenience just for a month and a half. Think about a whole season when they've got to replace a bridge. It'll be amazing to see if you're here. Next, I invite Tammy Nail, our Assistant Museum Curator at the Port Colborne Historical Marine Museum. And Tammy's here to share insight into the origin of the top hat ceremony and the history of our canal.
Thank you. Let me get the stars with those.
Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll. Is it a rabbit in a hat, or is it the hat? Oh, she has to put gloves on. That's correct, because it is the real hat.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So good morning. Port Colborne's cherished top hat ceremony began in the early 19th. Belted beaver fur top hat to the captain of the first vessel through Loch 8 on the Welland Canal. The ceremonial top hat presented to the captain is just one of over 22,000 artifacts from the collection of the Port Colborne Historical and Marine Museum. The beaver felt fur top hat was donated to the museum by an anonymous donor and has been the official ceremonial top hat given at the top hat ceremony for many years. It is a turn of the century dress and coat hat from London, England. The company was established in 1846 and active in England for over 100 years before being sold to Christie's in 1953.
Auctioneers, Christie's is auctioneers.
The importance of our local history as well as the integral role the canal system plays in the economic success of Port Colborne, the Niagara region, as well as the St. Lawrence Seaway, 60 navigational season. It also reflects on the importance of the marine industry and the impact of its history on the community. 2024 marked the first of the bicentennial commemorations of the Welland Canal. In 1824, construction began on the first Welland Canal, which opened to navigation in 1829 and later came to Port Colborne in 1833. Through its evolution, the canal has connected trade between the Great Lakes as well as the broader international community for almost 200 years. To learn more about our local marine history, our museum opens May 1st, and you're welcome to join us for tours, lectures, and displays that come with management. I am honored to present this top hat to Captain Donald Kemp of the Radcliffe R. Latimer.
My connection is getting weak.
Sorry, I'm not a speaker, but it is a great honor here to open the 2026 season for Port Colborne. On behalf of Algoma and my crew of the Radcliffe Lab, thank you very much.
To Radcliffe R. Latimer on behalf of City Council and the citizens of the city of Port Colborne, I welcome you as the first vessel through the Welland Canal for the 2026 shipping season. We celebrate and salute the Radcliffe R. Latimer and her crew at our annual Top Hat ceremony in Loch 8, Gateway Park, Port Colborne, Ontario, March 22nd, 2026. Signed, William C. Steele, Mayor. Captain? Great. Again, Tammy, thank you. And thank you, Captain. At this time, if we could have Pastor Lofthouse come forward to offer our Mariner's blessing for the 2026 shipping season.
I'm glad you're here. Yeah. In my tradition as a clergy, if I do a wedding, I have to have a couple standing before me, not talking about you guys, to do a blessing, right? And so the captain, you represent all the men and women that are going to be working the canal over the days ahead. So my blessing is given to you, to all of them, and to the sea. Or the waterfront and the Lakers. As we gather at the beginning of a season of movement, labor, and life upon these waters, let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for these lakes, vast, powerful, and life-giving. Bless all who sail them this season. Watch over the crews, the captains, guide them through every lock and canal. Steady them in the wind and wave, and bring them safely to harbor. Bless these vessels and all who depend on their journeys, both on the water and along these shores. May this season be marked with safety, purpose, and safe return. In your care, we begin. Amen. Amen.
Now, to officially welcome the start of the 2026 shipping season, we are starting a new tradition here in Port Colborne, and we need all of your help. In just a moment, we will radio the Radcliffe R. Latimer, and together we will count down to 10, or from 10 down to 1. When we reach 1, the vessel will sound its horn to signal the start of the shipping season. Nice. This inaugural horn blast symbolizes safety, good fortune, and a strong partnership between our community and the crews who navigate the Welland Canal. As the sound echoes across the water, let it remind us of the important work that lies ahead. Captain Kemp, when you're ready, please radio the bridge, and we're going to do our countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
It's an honor to have an Algoma captain and vessel as the first to visit Port Colborne for the 2026 season. On behalf of City Council and the Port Colborne community, we extend our best wishes to all captains, crews, and vessels for a safe and prosperous season ahead. This concludes our 2026 Top Hat ceremony. Please join me in congratulating here in the city of Port Colborne. Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Folks, that is the start of the new season. And of course, we got something completely different this time, which was the horn being sounded, which was absolutely brilliant to hear. We counted down and they sounded the horn, and it's officially started the 2026 shipping season here on the Welland Canal. Very shortly, the vessel will be making its way out onto Lake Erie, and like the manager of the Seaway was saying, there's a lot of ice out there, so it's going to be interesting as they make their way out there. So anyway, I'll take you for a little walk around so you can quickly see the ship. That's what you. My back's gone. Gee, standing around for so long. All right, give me a minute. I will put the. Hey?
Do you want all water?
Oh, thanks, Wally. I'm just gonna go up there for like 2 minutes. Take the camera up. All right. 1 second. All right, let's have a walk around. Connection for an hour and 40 minutes. Then it went. All right, signal's gone back to normal again. That's good. So the captain's just gone back on board.
Okay.
I can't remember what I said either now. I'm just reading the comments. I'm like, what did I just say as I walked up the stairs? I was talking about the weak connection. Tangy, and there's someone else I noticed in the chat. Thank you for being very welcoming to the people that were in the chat. I did notice your engagement. Thank you very much for helping me out. Yeah, the countdown and the horn was fantastic. Looking forward to playing that back later. Just taking the ladder back off. So this hands-free mooring system they're on about, this is it right here. It's still got a couple of more months before it's fully installed. One there, and the other one's there. So if you watched the video I made last week, and we showed the buffalo, Algoma buffalo had 3 grey patches, which is now painted over again, so it's blue. And that is basically because all the rust on some of the vessels wasn't sticking to the suction pads, so they've had to try something else out on some of these older vessels that had the paint worn completely off. It's totally appreciated, Tangy. Thank you. The rain's just very light at the moment, which is not too bad. came out for the ceremony. And I think a lot of people were probably uploading photographs and videos at that time. Because right up until the moment before the captain came on, everything was fine. Alright, the vessel will be exiting the lock momentarily. The alarm's just gone off on the Bascule Bridge, just to the south of us. The Bascule Bridge is the one you'll see go up in a minute. It's a bridge, it's like an arm, it just lifts up on one side. But I left it down there. I hope the rain doesn't get too heavy. So any second now, the Bascule Bridge will lift up. So the Bascule Bridge is going up, and if you can see on the camera, just below that Bascule Bridge, you can see the lock gates just opening. I'm trying to keep the camera steady. It's really hard because I'm zoomed right in. And you ought to hopefully, yeah, we bump into one another. I'll be around most of the summer around here, so I look forward to bumping into quite a few of you over the coming months. If you see me, don't be afraid to say hello. Sometimes I look a little miserable. It's just because I'm like, my mind's elsewhere, just thinking of what to do. But if you distract me and say hello, I'll snap out of it, so don't worry. The man just having another photo. The lines are being removed, and the vessel, the Radcliffe R Latimer, will start making its way. Yep, she's moving. She's going just about to see her move now. Just inching away. Oh no, it's super quiet. A minute ago you could hear the humming. Now you can hear it. And we're off. Awesome. Oh, I can definitely see it move from this angle now. She's picking up a bit of speed. Off she goes. All right, that is it for this live feed. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back in the coming days, weeks, months, throughout the whole season, bringing you lots of ships, videos, a couple of live streams here and there. And don't forget, also coming up probably late next month, we'll be out on the water on the Sea-Doo, chasing a few of these ships, getting some good footage. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful comments. And I look forward to watching this over again once it's uploaded and I can view it. I'll see you out there.